Roll call, please.
Alexander,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Cumin,
Yes.
Lentine,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Morgan, O'Toole.
Yes.
I entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the city council meeting from November 25th.
So moved. Second.
Alexander,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Cumin,
Yes.
Lentine,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
O'Toole.
Yes.
Yes. I entertain a motion to excuse Councilwoman Marsha Morgan.
So
Second.
Alexander,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Cumin,
Yes.
Lentine,
Yes.
Lewis, Morgan, O'Toole.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. We'll move on to reports. Mayor Roach.
Yes, I'm happy to report that this is our first council meeting that will be on, that'll be video recorded, and that'll be available on YouTube within a couple of days. So bear with us, we're getting used to, this is a temporary setup that we're using with wireless mics, and we're sharing mics, one mic with each couple of people. I think the mics are all on, and so we'll try to go with it here with the first meeting. I also want to report that I have a new assistant to the mayor, Kim Adams. She'll be available to meet everyone here on December the 23rd, but anybody can stop in at any time to meet her. So that's, I will comment as we go along, but that's my report for the evening.
Thank you, Mayor. Fire Chief Newman, do you have anything to report?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Council President Henry, Mayor Roach, members of the council. I'd like to review the statistical activity in the Division of Fire year to date. Our total calls as of November 30th are 1,758. That's an 11.5% increase compared to the same reporting period in 2013. 77% of our calls, or 1,352, were EMS calls, and 406 calls are what we categorize as fire service calls, 20 of those being structure fires. Our 3 area nursing homes account for 20%, or 349 of our total call volume. Simultaneous calls, those are calls that happen at the same time, occur 15% of the time. There's been 269 of those events this year. Billing for EMS transport is at $581,000. That's an increase of 12.1% compared to the same reporting period in 2013. We were at $518,000. Revenues for EMS transport, or what we collect, are at $335,000. That's an increase of 5.7% over the same reporting period in 2013. We were at $291,000. Our collection rate for EMS billing is at 58%. The collection rate for the same reporting period in 2013 was at 61%. This is a 4.9% decrease in the collection rate, but we've been climbing actually for the last couple of months. Our year-to-date overtime as of November 30th is at $97,425 for a total of 2,552 hours. That's a decrease of 30.8% over last year. We were at we're $43,272 behind last year. Overtime includes shift coverage and off-duty training related to regional agreements like our Hillcrest Tactical Rescue Team and the Fire Investigation Unit. Year-to-date supplemental staffing, which is overtime and part-time, is at 125,587. In fiscal year 13, we were at 178,197, an overall decrease of 29.5%. On Tuesday, December 2nd, we had a CPR course for our citizens. We had 6 residents that attended the CPR course. They were all certified. next CPR course will be offered in February with a date to be determined. These classes are free to all residents of Richmond Heights. This is the course which is for the general public. It's not the healthcare provider course. And participants must be at least 16 years old to attend. If anybody is interested, they can call me direct at my office and I'll get them on the roster. Ready Notify. I'm encouraging everyone in Richmond Heights to stay informed by signing up for Ready Notify. Residents can register for Ready Notify from a link on our city website, www.richmondheightsohio.org. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chief. Can you comment why it would be nice to sign up for Ready Notify?
Absolutely. Ready Notify is a public notification system that's offered to us free courtesy of Cuyahoga County. It's a great way to stay informed about emergency situations in the city, such as broken water mains that may affect your flow of traffic, or notifications about impending weather. You can actually select the cities that you want to monitor. For example, if you want to monitor Richmond Heights, you can just select Richmond Heights. But if there's other cities in our area that you'd like to get information about, you can simply select them as well. Great system. It delivers the message via text, email, telephone, fax machine, and eventually a web banner, possibly. But a great notification system, and the best part of it is it's at no cost to the city or the residents.
Thank you, Chief.
Madam President, this may be an opportunity to remind the residents that we need to understand when you have an emergency, and correct me if I may, both police and fire, so many times we're so active or so involved that we just hit 911. That is the emergency number if you're having a major problem. Okay, but if you're just looking for some advice or some, your keys are locked in your car, that is not an emergency as far as the police and the fire department is concerned. I had an incident just last week, I think the mayor could refer to this also, that a resident locked his keys in the car. Thought it was an emergency. It wasn't an emergency for them, but that's not the type of emergency that 911 handles. You need to call the regular police number or fire number that's in the in all our literature and all our information that we have. 911 is only for a real unfortunate emergency. And that's something that I actually learned also. It's so easy that we just hit 911. It's really not the way to go. You'd be helping out if you would just call the regular police or fire number and tell them what your problem is. Thank you.
I'm sure the police department does appreciate that.
Yeah.
And getting on to the police chief, I entertain a motion to excuse him. He's on vacation.
So moved.
Yes. We don't need a motion. Finance Director Mitch McKayla. You have a report?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Mayor, members of council. Yes, I'll be brief. I'll have a lot more to talk about Finance Committee next week. Did want to touch a little bit on the income tax collections. This is through the beginning of December. We have received the first installment of collections for the month. Currently, we stand at $5,952,450. This compares to what was originally budgeted for at $5.5 million. So we are currently at 108.3% of the budget, and we are 15.3% ahead of collections at this time last year, which were $5,164,511. I did want to update you on the health insurance situation. We had a meeting with USI, who is our broker, on Friday the 5th. We had a very good discussion. They came back. They have received final quotes from Anthem, who is currently our health insurance carrier. They've come in actually very favorable compared to this year. We don't yet have final quotes for the ancillary lines, which would be the dental, vision, life, and accidental death and dismemberment These policies right now, they gave us a preliminary quote, a bit higher than what we had hoped. They're in the process right now of shopping. They're looking, our dental and our vision are carried with Assurant right now, and Lincoln handles our life insurance. They have asked both Lincoln and Assurant to quote for all three of the ancillary lines and hopefully get a better deal that way. I was hoping to get an email from them at some point today with what they came back with. I have not as yet received that, and I'll keep you posted as to when I find out. Hopefully I'll know that again before Finance Committee next week. And that's all I have for tonight.
Building Commissioner Phil Seabold.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, Mayor, members of council. Again, very briefly, the mayor asked me to report tonight that the work that was awarded on the repair of roofs around the city has been progressing very nicely. The roofs at Greenwood Farms are done. The roofs at the service garage, over the service garage and the salt bin are also complete. And the last piece of the work, which is the repair of the lodge roof over at the park, is on the schedule for tomorrow, weather permitting. So we should see that, assuming that we get another nice day this week before the end of the week, that'll probably be done this week too. So that work will be, that contractor will have his work done. Building department-wise, most of our emphasis this time of the year is on the collection of fees for apartment and business registration. We've been very active, and over the last 8 weeks, we've collected just shy of $80,000. In the last 2 weeks, we've collected about $10,000, and we still have numerous businesses not reporting yet. So hope to have something at the end of the month for a year-end report on that. And last but not least, the times are changed insofar as setting the clocks fall back again. I'd like to remind everybody that the building department likes to take credit, unlike the fire department who handles emergencies. We like to take credit for the emergencies that never happen because the building codes are there to keep everybody safe. And I wanted to remind everybody that this is the time of the year to change the batteries in your smoke and carbon monoxide detectors if you haven't already done that. And that's my report.
Thank you for taking credit. Service Department, Nick Lapardo.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor, members of council. Just wanted to report that we got our new boiler installed in the service garage on Friday, so there are no longer any harmful chemicals and gases leaking out into our building. And as the building commissioner said, our roof is fixed on the service garage, so we can no longer see daylight coming through. So that's nice. We're still patiently awaiting the arrival of our new trucks. Hopefully, I hear something tomorrow. I'm gonna try to get some more information about those. And thankfully, with the weather we've been having, our leaf collection's been going great. We were able to knock out a big chunk of picking up the leaves throughout the city within the last week, and we were able to get through the whole entire south side again today in one day. So we're in really good shape there, and hopefully we get them all picked up within the next week or so, and then we could wrap that up and go on to the snow. And
Just say go on, no snow.
Yeah. That's all I have to report.
All right, thank you very much. City Engineer Lee Courtney.
Two items, Madam President. The county's work on Trubisky Road has been completed. The barricades were removed late Friday and the road's open. Everything is done except for putting the asphalt back. That'll happen next spring. And today, along with the county and the state, we did a final inspection on Highland Road, which we'll call the first final inspection because not all the work's done. This year, they still have to finish some temporary striping, and there are some ponding areas they want to try and deal with as weather permits. In 2015, they will do the permanent signage and the permanent striping.
Alexander?
When will they put in the leak detectors at Trubisky?
Today, they said the leak detectors are in, but one of the control boxes, I think, is set on manual, which may be why the leak's not active.
Thank you.
Great. And we will move on to economic developer. Crystal Best.
Thank you, Madam President, Mayor, Council, members of the community. I just have a few brief items to mention. First of all, I want to say that the Breakfast with Santa was a really good event, and from all that I could see and all that I heard, it was very, very successful. So thanks if you came, or if you sent someone, or if your children or grandchildren or nieces or nephews were there. It was a great event, and hopefully we'll be able to continue with that going forward. As far as economic development, there's just a couple of things. The city is eligible for a Cuyahoga County demolition grant. It's a part of a grant that the county received. It's a $50 million grant, and the Department of Development is making funds available to all the cities within Cuyahoga County. The city of Richmond Heights is planning on accessing the grant funds through an application that's due in February to demolish the Chardon Road gas station, as well as do some spot demolition of some residential properties on Highland Road and throughout the city. And I've been working with the mayor and Phil Siegel, the building commissioner, to identify which properties we would like to submit for the demolition, so that we can be competitive. Well, it's not even a competitive grant, so that we can be considered for those funds. We are allowed up to $100,000 per demolition, and certainly it shouldn't cost that much to demolish the structures. And then, of course, a lien is placed on the property, so that if the owners can be identified, the monies can be captured when the property sells, hopefully. If not, then it's not out of the city of Richmond Heights' funds. So it's kind of a win-win all the way around. So we're excited about that. As far as development in town, I have been interviewing different businesses for the city of Richmond Heights, trying to encourage them to locate here, small businesses. As some of you know, I interviewed Peace, Love, and Little Donuts there in West Park, see if they'd be interested in trying to do a satellite over here. This week coming up, I have interviews with 2 small fitness businesses that are interested in Richmond Heights. And when I say interview, I mean trying to see if there's a way to put them in touch with the possible lenders, trying to see if they might be interested in our reinvestment area, trying to see if there's a commercial structure or other location where they would be where it would be well suited for them. So just really trying to let people know that we're here, and we want them to think of Richmond Heights as a great possible place to locate their businesses. So I will keep you posted on that, and that's all I have for today.
Thank you. We will to, unless there's any comments, then we'll move to the audience. Thank you very much. Any comments? Okay, we'll start Vita, and then you in the back, and then Mr. Williams, past Williams. So, is there a mic? Okay, there is a mic, and please go with the stand podium. And please try to keep comments down to 3 minutes. You can do it.
As I understand it, there's a public hearing about no taking the gas application on the 16th and also the 23rd
Yes.
at 8:15. And a few years ago, there were some public hearings at 8:15, 8:30, and I asked about 6 residents who were employed and also retired why don't they attend the public hearings? And they said, well, it's too late at night. It's too late in the evening. And I mentioned that to council, and I said, couldn't you like meet at 7? Something like that, so that it would be more convenient for people. But that hasn't happened, it's not happening now. Why is,
We have a 2 o'clock schedule.
well, yeah, but if you're working, you can't go to the 2 o'clock.
So otherwise, then we'd have to make a special meeting, which what happened with this situation is because of everything that has gone on, everything is like an emergency. We've been trying to work on the legislation for aggregation, and things just didn't happen. So now in order for people to get credit for this, we need to hold these meetings, and then you have at least a 2-week clearance between each meeting. So we're up against the wall, and so and in order to change your meetings, and it takes time to do that also, it has to be publicized. So that's the reason why, but we will work on trying to have those special meetings at 7 o'clock.
Would appreciate that.
Okay.
And also, I don't believe there were public hearings before was placed on the ballot to have gas aggregation. And my question is, wouldn't the public have benefited by having public meetings prior to voting so they would know what they're voting on?
We
We did?
must have missed it. You did miss a couple, believe it or not.
Oh, I don't know. I'm all electric. So I wouldn't go to the
Okay,
gas.
because this young man showed up quite a few times
Oh, okay.
under the administration of Head, so
Oh.
this has stretched out for a period of time.
Oh, so when public hearings, it was in the city council, during city council?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And then I had one thought about how do you alert people? Could Ready Notify be used to announce the public hearing? Or is that like out of bounds or?
No, it's a safety, Ready
Okay.
Notify is a safety device. After a while, people will ignore Ready Notify if we started to, get personal with it.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you very much. And Peter, you gave your name and address, right?
Vita Javian, Raven Lane.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Sid Sack, Stacy Court. I have 2 questions. One is about ACDC. I don't know if the fire department is aware of that. Aluminum cans for burnt children. We used to participate in that. We had those blue barrels out next to the fire station, and we stopped doing it, and I was just wondering if we could reinstate that, because I take my aluminum cans to Willoughby now, and they have that, so.
Chief, would you like to comment?
It's not a program that I'm familiar with. I've been here since August 13, 2012, so it was probably a little bit before my time.
It was.
But I would definitely entertain looking into it because it's a good cause.
Yes.
With the consent of mayor and council.
Can you explain it a little more, please?
Well, what it is, at least I'm familiar with the one in Willoughby, because like I said, that's where I take my cans, but they claim that all of the cans that aluminum cans that they recycle go towards the children's burn units. So to me, it's a very valuable thing. Instead of putting our aluminum cans in, our curbside recycle, where now they're mixed with the aluminum or with the plastic and everything else. So I thought this is a good way to support, the children's units.
Thank you. I agree, that's a good addition.
I have one more quick question. This is for the service department. Is there any way we can get a grinder or something to grind down some of the expansion joints on Richmond Road? Because seriously, some of them are, and we haven't had any freezes this year. I thought it would be done this summer, and I know we're busy, and it's nothing, our service department does a great job, so I just wondered if, I don't know how much it costs to run a grinder and put some tar over the top of them, so it's just a thought.
Well, Mr. Lombardo, you
I'm
can
not
probably
trying to-
pass this on. Would you like to comment? But we're going to get a new service director, but we have a great foreman who can make sure. And Lee, coordinate, that's right.
Yeah, this is a job that's basically too big for the service department to pretty much take on at this particular time. The road is bad.
Yes.
I mean, our plows feel. it's something we'll have to look into and see if we can do anything, but for right now, I don't know if there's gonna be anything that can be done, you know, any immediate attention that can be brought to Richmond.
Okay, because I'm just thinking as we get the rain and the freezes, it's just gonna get worse now during the, when especially like right in front of Charter One Bank, there's some that are.
Thank you. Well, we're gonna take two perspectives. Here's the engineering side of this.
First, we're trying to get the state to do the whole road, but as of right now, they're scheduled for like 2019. And by that time, it's gonna be a whole lot worse than it is now. The other thing, I would not recommend the service department try to do it because there's so much traffic control involved to try to work across 4 or 5 lanes of traffic. We're better off doing that with an outside contract. And we're just wrapping up this year's work, and we will start on next year's work, and I think that's an excellent candidate.
All right, so we'll have
Which
that.
won't help you this winter. It's a long way before 19.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Pastor Williams, and then Mr. Schlachter.
Thank you. Madam President, I talked with, got an update from a couple of people, but I last attended the safety committee meeting and addressed my concerns about the street lights and then at the council meeting that followed. And then I noticed the minutes for the zoning, planning and zoning committee, and I didn't realize this was going to be discussed at that meeting. And so what I'd like to do is just state my concerns and then stay within the 3 minutes for a response.
Oh, let me tell you too the reason why it happened that way. Because I had Mr. Colleen to come into that committee because he says, I'm not going to be available to come in to explain some things, and I feel that in order for council to be able to make decisions as a council, and especially we've got new people, they didn't know all the things that have gone down. So he said, this is the only time I can come in, so that's why he ended up coming into someone else's committee. So we're still discussing, trying to figure out things, and we're getting numbers from First Energy. So that's the reason why we threw the fast curveball and didn't mean to do it that way though.
Okay, so just to state my concerns and I can
Yes.
wait for a response. At that meeting, Mr. Councilman Alexander stated that there were 4 areas, Highland, Trubisky, Wilson Mills, and Chardon. And so I'd like to know how was that determined? And then there was discussion about poles and lights removed, and I want to make sure of where we are before anything starts being removed. Let's see. Okay. So, and you, Madam President, had mentioned about my street, and that's 160 Richmond Road. Just wanted to make sure that that is, Mr. Alexander had said that even though you're on the list, it doesn't mean that your lights going to get turned on. And so I just want to make sure of where we stand and whether my light's going to be turned on. And Mr. Colleen said he would come back with a cost and that, and so I wanted to know if there's a time, a date when that would be done. Cost and then Mr. Latine said it would be discussed further in the safety committee. So I'd just like to know where we are now.
Okay, we're going back to the safety committee. We did get some numbers, which I didn't pass literature out to the other people. I got a couple emails yesterday in regards to some of those numbers being returned. And we will also discuss the idea of poles and no poles being removed. And we're in consensus that we do not want poles removed. Mr. Alexander can comment on his own, but otherwise, next Tuesday will be safety, and we will have this topic again.
Okay.
So, did you want Mr. Alexander?
Yes.
Comment on.
Your
The 4 areas, how is that determined?
The areas were determined when they originally went through the city to turn off streetlights. If you look at the city of Richmond Heights, streetlights are only on the main streets, and those are the main streets. and the thing was to turn out every other one. Never got to every other one. But that's, the streets that are in question, if you go onto our side streets, the only street lights on side streets are usually at intersections, curves, or hazardous spots.
So are you saying then that Trubisky is a main street and Richmond Road a state highway is not?
Richmond Road is a main road, and there are
I
street
understand
lights
that,
out
but
there.
it was not one of the choices that was listed here.
Well, then it must have just been an error, because what I referred to is the streets that the street lights were turned out on. Richmond Road is one, Highland is another one, Trubisky is another one, and Sharp. Those are basically, in Wilson Mills, those are the basic main thoroughfares in our city that the street lights were turned out on.
So it's
So,
probably an oversight.
It's not that Richmond Road is excluded, there's probably more on Richmond Road than any road in our city that was shuttered.
so when will we know, what's the next step? I know you said going back to safety, but
It's going
when?
back to safety. There's information, like Eloise said, that will be, she hasn't dispersed to council yet, which is the price tag on all of it. And that'll be discussed in safety next week.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Madam President, Mayor, and council members, I'm Roy Schlachter, live on Dickens Drive in the Richmond Heights, in the Royalwood Estates. I have a couple of questions. Start with the Chief Newman. Is the emergency callback system that you were describing, is it in operation at present?
The Ready Notify system is up and running, yes.
It is. My wife will be very happy to hear that. Ms. Best, a question about our involvement with the Richmond Town Center, whether or not there's anything cooking there in terms of promotion of the shopping center, physical improvements to make it more attractive. Obviously, one of the main things you see on the police blotter, people who are being picked up, sadly, for shoplifting and so on. But I was curious as to whether or not there's any plan to meet with them to encourage an ongoing relationship which may already be in place.
That's a very good question, and yes, we have been working on increased visibility and having a more robust relationship with the people at Richmond Town Center. We participated in their what was it, the craft? There was a special event that they had, and Councilwoman Luce was there, and the mayor was there, and I was there, and we participated. While our participation wasn't as to the extent that it might have been, it was a step. We've met with Kate Miller, and we'll continue to work with her as we start the new year to try to bring more of a relationship between the city and Richmond Town Center. In talking to people who live in Richmond Heights, they love the anchor stores, and they're not as sure about the stores that are inside the mall. So one goal would be to try to get more stores that are of interest to people in Richmond Heights inside the mall, so that there's a feeling that there's stores where people want to shop. And we also want to have a feeling that it's more safe. I get the impression that people have uncertainty about going into the mall, and it's probably not nearly as unsafe as has been portrayed. So we have to work on that and work on some of the image of the mall, but certainly that's something that we're going to deal with and focus on in the early part of next year. But yes, we are moving in that direction, trying to build a stronger relationship. Does that answer?
My other question, actually two comments. One of them is, and I've heard this from a variety of people, and that is, what the chief of police is pursuing regarding hiring candidates of color for the police department in our particular community, and that would be just a question I can direct to him specifically. The other point is that under Mayor Ursu, we had what was basically a commission on diversity, that there were about 6 or 7 of us who got together, and we were there for something like 7 years, attempting to bring neighbors together, introducing a mediation service. I would like to make the suggestion that Mayor and Council give some thought to that for future development. Maybe not in that same form, but in some way an active bringing together of neighbors, whether it's events. I must tell you, I was witness to a morning that occurred, it's got to be 2 years ago, where 100 fathers came to the high school. It was really amazing. They were there, but it was advertised as, all right, come on, fathers, you have to be part of the educational effort. And 100 literally came, and sadly the ball was dropped. There was no follow-through, there was no continuity in that. And I know that's the Board of Education's responsibility. So that I would also like to encourage the potential for a liaison to the Board of Education from the City Council. Not any kind of formal arrangement as such, but to just be in touch with that very important entity, which is one of the major concerns as far as new people moving in. I'm sorry to have used you with many of these items, but that was one in particular that I would like to encourage, so that we're not kind of ships passing in the night. The school system has its own set of challenges, and I think that it's very important that there be a kind of a unified spirit between both entities, because it's the city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Slachter. And in regards to the diversity and mediation committees, we are working on reviving those, and we will take in consideration the suggestion for a liaison to the Board of Education from the City Council. Thank you. Any more comments? All right. Thank you. We will move on to our old business.
Ordinance number 113, 2014, introduced by Lentine, second reading. An ordinance amending chapters 1301 and 1501 of the codified ordinances to place the position of fire safety inspector in the Division of Building, Zoning, and Housing in the Department of Public Safety, specify the method by which fire safety inspectors are appointed, authorize the building commissioner and fire safety inspectors to enforce the fire prevention code, and declaring an emergency.
We will hold this on the second reading, and I recommend this back to the Safety Committee for more consideration. Entertain a motion.
Motion to recommend to return it to the Safety Committee.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cumin?
Yes.
Lentine?
Question?
Yes.
We are not voting on, is this officially a second reading? Do we have to vote on that? It's just, it's being read, so it is a second reading.
It is a second reading.
And now we're voting on recommendation to
We're
give
moving
it back to
to
committee.
Safety Committee.
My vote is yes.
Thank you.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move on to new business, resolution 117, 2014, introduced by Council President Henry, first reading. An ordinance repealing codified ordinance section 131.01 regarding the secretary to mayor and special project secretary positions in the city and declaring an emergency.
Entertain a motion. Or
Move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Second the motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 117-2014, introduced by Council President Henry, passes unanimously.
Okay, Resolution 118-2014, introduced by Mayor Roach, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into agreements with the Cuyahoga County District Board of Health to perform stormwater inspection and monitoring services within the city.
I entertain a motion.
Move for suspension. Second the motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes. Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution number 118-2014, introduced by Mayor Roach, first reading, passes unanimously.
Resolution number 119-2014, introduced by Mayor Roach, first reading. A resolution approving the appointment by the mayor of Thomas DeLillo as Assistant Director of Finance and declaring an emergency.
May I entertain a motion?
Move for suspension.
Second the motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage?
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution 119-2014, introduced by Mayor Roach, first reading, passes unanimously.
Resolution number 120-2014, introduced by O'Toole, first reading. An ordinance amending ordinance number 79-2013 to revise the compensation of the tax administrator of the city of Richmond Heights for the period January 1st, 2014 through calendar year 2015 and declaring an emergency.
I move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage?
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution number 120-2014, introduced by O'Toole, first reading, passes unanimously.
Resolution number 121-2014, introduced by Council President Henry, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement for the purchase of the necessary emergency response equipment package and declaring an emergency.
Move for suspension.
Second?
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
Morgan? Or O'Toole?
Yes.
That was passage, right?
Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Was it 121?
That was 121.
Okay, resolution number 121-2014 passes unanimously.
Okay, resolution 122-2014, introduced by Cuman, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the Cuyahoga County Department of Information Technology for services to be provided in connection with the redesign and implementation of the city's website, declaring an emergency.
Move for suspension.
Second?
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes. Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution number 122-2014 passes unanimously.
Resolution number 123, 2014, introduced by Lentine, first reading. A resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the city of Highland Heights, Ohio, for the purchase of a vehicle for use by the Division of Police.
Entertain motion?
Move for suspension.
Second the motion.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes. Move for passage.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Resolution number 123, 2014 passes unanimously.
Madam President, may I just make a quick comment? For the residents out there, this last piece of legislation that just passed is giving us an opportunity to purchase a vehicle from the city of Highland Heights for the police department, for our police department. Also, it may be used for the detective. It might be used in the building department. This is an opportunity to update some of our vehicles at a much lower cost than purchasing a brand new vehicle. It's a car that I'm told that it's in very good shape mechanically, and it gives us an opportunity to hopefully save some money in that department. So that's what that was all about. We're going to buy a car that belongs to Highland Heights, will soon belong to Richmond Heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lentine.
Resolution 124, 2014, introduced by mayor and council, first reading. A resolution confirming the appointment by the mayor of Donald Krasinski as Director of Public Service and Properties and declaring an emergency.
Move for suspension.
Second.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Move for passage.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Two motions that were.
Why don't you introduce? No.
124, 2014? Oh, yes.
Ellis, why don't you introduce the new service director?
Okay, 1 second. First, resolution 124, 2014 passed unanimously. Introducing before, we have two more pieces of legislation.
Okay.
Well, we would like anyway, then we'll do that. I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize a contract with PC Alternatives to not exceed $2,000.
So moved.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
For videotaping city council meetings.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. Mr. O'Toole, you have a motion?
Yes, I have a motion that we go into executive session to discuss employment of a public official.
Alexander?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Cuman?
Yes.
Lentine?
Yes.
Lewis?
Yes.
O'Toole?
I also would like to introduce the city's new service director, Mr. Krasinski. Would you please stand? He will be, pardon? It's just it? Effectively? Okay, Mr. Krasinski will be starting effectively January 1st or something? 5th? No, I think the 1st would be better for you. January 5th. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome to Richmond Heights.
Thank you very much.
So it's time to go into executive session. Everything else, any comments, any more questions from council? Okay, then, we will go into executive session. And then we'll read your. You okay to executive? Well, we're gonna go into executive session. Move. So, Justin, can you turn the camera off, and turn it back on? We're gonna come back after our executive session. I don't know if that's going to be. We'll take it in the meeting.
And actually, one of the questions was, where did the previously work that you
You're on. Okay, we moved to adjourn the city council meeting. Do I get a second?
Second.